Hello, everybody. Oh my God, my green screen isn't there. 1 second. What side is that? This side. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that's not good. Well, as always, there we go. You seeing my belly? This should be, there's a little bit more on this side. Okay. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, wow. As always, technical difficulties. They will never stop on my channel, I think. Never ever. There's always something. Whew. Okay, again, testing the multi-stream feature, so I hope I can see all comments. And yeah, I didn't manage to get it live on YouTube, but now it is live, so should work. Okay. Let me get the chat window over here. 1 second. Pop that out so I can look at you. Hi, how you doing? Thank you for joining. All right. Lots of craziness going on. Hi, Timothy from Texas. Thanks for joining. Really nice to have you here. All right. Good. I hope you're having a nice weekend and a nice time all together. So, yeah. Hi, Jens from Germany. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. Hi, Alan from France. How you doing? A little sip of tea. There we go. Okay. Hi, Sabine from Germany. Hi, Johan from Netherlands. Hi, Ingo from Belgium. Really nice to see all of you. Really awesome. Agnes from Netherlands. Hi, how you doing? Okay, really cool to see so many well-known faces here. Really awesome. Okay, good. Is there a huge delay in my video? I don't know, because I see me here and there's quite a delay. Let's see. I mean, you will hear what I'm saying anyway, so that's good. Hi, Christian from Frankfurt. How are you doing? Awesome. Good, good, good. All right. There were many amazing entries this week in the challenge, so I'm really looking forward to review that. So that might be really interesting. We can do more of these challenges if you want to. There were a lot more entries than I expected to be. So maybe that is something a lot of you like to do, these composites. So that could be really nice. It was really fun and inspiring to see all these different ideas that have been posted. So that's really awesome. And yeah, I hope it was also nice to have like this limit to just 2 pictures. So it's a little bit easier to get into, not being too much overwhelmed by the complexity of it. And yeah, there has been a lot of nice things in there. Okay. Also, by the way, I'm going to start doing photo shoots on my own. So this will hopefully come to the channel soon. So far, I had a little bit of bad luck, like the, how do you see? Destiny wasn't on my side because the last 2, how I say, the last 2 meetings didn't really work out, but tomorrow there should be a shooting, so let's see how that turns out. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Lots of skilled people out there. Also, I was really amazed by the feedback of the community because I posted my stuff online in a model community, and they were really amazed by the pictures I've created on the live stream here. So I hope to create more of that and even more complex things like that. So that might be really interesting. This is also why I bought my new camera, by the way. Cats are going crazy a little bit, sorry. Hi, Hugo from Sachsen-Anhalt. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Christian from Frankfurt, hi. Really awesome. 38 people right now. Okay, cool. Really good. I might have a little bit overpromised, to be honest, on the street photography topic. We can talk about it. And I went out today. I was working on the new creative pack that's coming, I think next Saturday. I wanted to put it out next Tuesday, but I think I will take a little bit more time. And it's also good because then we can do it on Saturday and make a live stream about it on Sunday. So that's also nice to have a little bit more information about that. Yeah, and then I thought, hey, I should go out and do some street photos so I can show them in the stream. And I took my new camera with the 85mm lens, and that's quite a different experience to a wide-angle lens. So it was very complicated. I have to get adjusted to that. And especially it's a portrait lens, so that's very different. That's not really for city pictures, stuff like that. Yeah, but I will get into that. It's nice to have that kind of challenge. Hi, Martin from Shetlands. Hi. And Marco from Serbia. Thanks for joining. Really awesome. Okay. Also, the last stream, we had a lot of viewers, which was about RAW editing, so maybe we should do more about that. And of course, now that I do my own shootings with models and makeup and all these kind of things, I have a lot of more RAW photos to edit my own stuff, my own concepts. Also, maybe talking a little bit about planning these things and preparing for them. Maybe that would have been a much better topic for today. We can still change the topic. I mean, it's a live stream. We can do whatever we want. So that might be interesting. Yeah. Instead of well, we can also talk about street photography. I don't know. We will see. All right. Okay, good. Let's maybe start with the review. We almost like 8 minutes in. Okay, so let's go there. Wait, we have to switch over the screen. 1 second. Oh, by the way, there's also people on Facebook watching. Let me have a look at the stream too. So, Coert says, hey, Facebook in the house, really cool. Jean-Loup is also watching from Facebook. Hi, how are you doing? Really cool. Do you see the comments from Facebook? Yes, they are on the combined chat, although on the combined chat I right now see only Facebook. It's a little bit strange today, but I can see it. I will keep it there on the second screen, and then yeah, change topic. We can do that. Maybe that's a good idea. I also was yesterday discussing with a friend of mine about the preparation of these kind of shots. Whoop, what's going on? Has liked the stream. Oh, okay. Hi, I didn't know that is a pop-up too. Really cool. Thank you very much. Okay, but for now, let's do the review and then we can talk about preparations of these things. Maybe it's better than street photography because my pictures didn't turn out that amazing. We can also look at them later. Let me switch over to, where is it? Work life. Boom, there we go. Okay, that doesn't look good. Oh, this is this is from last time where I had my screen resolution set too high. So now let's set it to the normal resolution again. Not normal, but for the stream. I always set it down for the stream a little bit. Okay, so here we have the challenge for this week was to combine two of these pictures, as you know. So I made this a search query, so you actually have hundreds of pictures you can choose from Unsplash, of course. So you're not limited by that. Just limited in the way that it is a fish picture and a city picture. So there is kind of a consistency in the entries of the people. And there's a lot of creative stuff that has been posted. Here's the first one from Ellen. And did you also post? You also posted the original picture. So that's pretty cool also. That some people thought about that. I didn't write it into the description, but it's really cool that you still did that. So here's the first one with an octopus swimming through a city that's kind of lying sideways, or it's diving down. That could also be. Let's have a look at the original. Okay, the original octopus is also getting darker back here for the legs. I thought you painted that on maybe because here it's kind of fading also into this kind of blue color, but it might be a part of the original picture. It doesn't really have that much ambient light, so it doesn't really feel like it's there. So this kind of blue water that you put here, this kind of overlay, I think it's just on the city. It's not on the octopus necessarily. So with a little bit of more ambient light, you can make it feel more like it's actually in that kind of situation. On the positive side, though, you have a strong contrast between the orange and the blue in the background. So not for every purpose the picture needs to be super realistic or like make you believe that this actually was at the same place, you know. There's a lot of kind of art styles or creative styles that like this kind of patching things together, and you see that they are not actually in the same space, but it's still like a funny, a little bit trashy kind of style that is still fun to look at, you know? So it's still okay if you want to do it like that. So that's pretty cool. Very nice, really interesting. The selection here is maybe a little bit strange. Is that on the original picture also? Oh, yeah. Okay, strange. Uh-huh. Or did you make this selection, or was this selection from the internet? Because there seems to be a byte having been taken out of that octopus here in that area. Yeah, but still very interesting, very creative. Cord says he did a shooting with a male model yesterday. It is hard to arrange these things. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was, by the way, this is so crazy. I was almost meeting a model, and then I was asking her, okay, I want to validate that we actually meet at that point of time. Do you have time? And she says, no, I was just in a car crash. My car turned over, like really crazy thing. She was okay, so that's good. She was shocked a little bit, of course, but no, she didn't hurt herself, so that's pretty cool. But the car is totaled. So, wow, that's a pretty crazy start to, yeah, trying to get into a shooting. All right, so that's what I meant with destiny. You feel like a little bit strange when that happens. All right, okay, next one. Again, ambient light and such. I have used this fish, I think, twice also. It's a really nice picture. It's nice. Maybe, I don't know, I would have maybe put the fish a little bit higher or so. And also there is like, of course, this is really complicated to do in Affinity Photo, but you have a wet ground, but at the same time, no reflection of the fish. So you clearly see that the fish isn't there, which, again, I know is kind of hard to implement in Affinity Photo. I think actually I made a tutorial about that, especially about this kind of wet surfaces. Let's have a look on YouTube real quick. On my channel, there we go. Where is that? Reflection. There we go. So I made a video. You can only see this small thumbnail right now, but where I use a little trick, I think with a blend mode or such, I can't quite remember, where you basically can put a reflection into the water surface and also kind of these brighter surfaces. So, no, not brighter surfaces. I don't know how I did that. I have to watch my own tutorial to find out. Okay, pretty cool, very interesting. I like that you changed the colors of the city to match the fish. So everything has this kind of orange touch. Although, for some reason, back here, the sky is blue. So I don't know what happened there. By the way, let's have the chat over here so I can also see if you write something. Yeah, that was really a strange event with the car crash, which still keeps me from having a driving license. You know, I'm too worried I would get into something like that, so I actually don't have a driving license. Hey, Hamish, thanks for joining. Herman says maybe full raw edit with Affinity today. Maybe. Like I said, the pictures didn't turn out that amazing. We can have a look at them. So I always feel like I have to create some really interesting stuff to show it. Whoops. Why doesn't this close? You know, recently when I click on Facebook, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why. It's really strange. Okay. Hey, Colin is also on Facebook. Hi. So a lot of people are watching on Facebook. So this multi-stream thing actually seems to work very nicely. This is a very nice combination of the colors of the fish and the colors of the city. And you actually put at least one reflection, kind of a reflection of the stingray. Are they a stingray? I don't know. into the house. I have to be honest, I have no idea how that reflection would actually look. I don't think it would look like that. Because, I mean, the upside of the fish is looking towards the building, but the reflection, of course, holds the downside with these 4 or 5 fish below that. So it actually kind of reflects the wrong side of the fish. Unless the reflection is below, I don't think so. Huh. But it's good that you tried, so that's nice. Yeah. What is more convenient for you, Photoshop or Affinity? I haven't worked with Photoshop in 10 years or so, over 10 years. So I don't know. I changed over to Affinity Photo. I didn't want to pay the fees anymore. And then I tried Lightroom. I wasn't that impressed, to be honest. Like, Nik Collection is so much better than Lightroom. Of course, it's different what it does, but still, it's kind of faster. And Affinity Photo is very capable compared to Photoshop. Photoshop has some more features, but mostly you probably don't need them. So I think if you don't need these special things that that Photoshop can do, you will be fine with Affinity Photo, unless you have someone that uses Photoshop files and you need to work together, because Affinity Photo doesn't really handle Photoshop files that well because of the technology that's like proprietary to Adobe, and they of course don't give it away. All right, really cool, very nice edit. I like how the colors work together, and the green feeling also on these kind of little fish here. They have a little bit of the same green as the building. So that's pretty cool how you put all of that together. Very nice work, very nice composition idea. And the fog, how this, the fish fades into the fog, which also gives it like the feeling that it's really large. Very cool, very interesting. Thank you, Mateus. All right. Doesn't close again. I'm sorry. Something is odd today. Hello? Oh no! Did I click on the Facebook icon? No. Okay, good. All right, there we go. This one is very nice. From the, I don't know if the original picture was like that from the fish or if you adjusted that, but I think that the colors of the fish and the city work very well, and also this kind of shadow that you put under there, that also fits very well, so it really feels like the fish is there. I'm not sure if the fish has actually these eyes or if you put on a googly eye, basically. It looks a little bit goofy, but maybe that's the original fish eye, I don't know. But pretty cool, very impressive. The only thing that's kind of strange is that this building here looks like it's 2D for some reason. Everything else looks okay, but this looks like it's a paper print on the side of the building. Maybe it is. You know, sometimes when they renovate buildings, they put a picture in front of it so you don't see the renovation. I don't know. Or maybe the effect comes from the shadow falling on everything in the same way, but that's interesting. But pretty cool. The fish looks really nice, really interesting. Yeah. Wait, let's have a look at the chat real quick. Why can't I write in the chat right now? Yes, you can, Jens. I can see your comments, so that should work. The comment, but not the one before. Maybe if you share a link or something, then it didn't work or so. Too many words? Maybe it was too long. That could also be. Okay. Hi, Rainmaker. Thanks for joining. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Why is my internet so slow right now? Or like the browser? Something is off. Should I wait? I switch over to the normal view. To the talk view again, and I will close Facebook real quick. And because something is off here, something is not working right now. Let me also see you real quick. I hope this doesn't end the stream if I go to the task manager. 1 second. So what is using a lot of power here? Maybe I have Photolab open in the background, so maybe I close that. And I also have Affinity Photo open. Let's close that. Is there something else? I mean, Google is using a lot of power for some reason. I don't see any other reason what's happening. Oh, maybe my backup thing is uploading, but that shouldn't be a reason, right? 1 second. Check for up. No. Control panel. Pause backup. So let's pause that now. And now it should probably work better. All right, let's go back to Facebook. Okay, good. So this works better now. Maybe that was the problem. 1 second. I will switch you to the other view in a second. I just have to find the challenge again. There we go. Okay, let's switch over. Bloop. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I'm using like a online backup solution, and because I did all these photos today, it tries to upload like 10 gigabytes right now, so that's not a good idea. Okay, here's the next one. Is this actually the next one? I don't want to miss out on anything. Yes, it is. So thank you, Stevie, for that one. Really cool. Very nice. Oh, wow. So here we have some crabs on a huge building. Looks like a horror movie poster. Pretty cool. From Anne. Very nice. And you put some kind of grunge effect on here too. So it looks kind of vintage, everything. But it also brings the elements nice together. The crabs don't have any reflection or shadows below them. So it probably would look a bit more connected if they did at least have a little bit of shadows on there. But it's pretty cool. It's a very good idea also. And I like how you put some of them behind the buildings or behind objects like the antenna up here. So they actually are like more included in the image. So that's a really cool idea. Very nice. Very creative. Really like how much creativity has been put into this challenge. Also, you have added a moon here. That's very nice. Very cool. Nice ideas. Thank you very much, Anne. Yeah, and I think it's fun to create these things, right? And it's playful at the same time. You learn about photo editing, so all of that is pretty nice. A wholesome guy. I hope I am, maybe. Most of the time, hopefully. All right. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for that. Lauren Dowell. Okay, there we go. Jens has this one. Wait, what did Lauren actually say? Trying to add my image, but for some reason it does not like it. Post. Oh, if it's on a separate post, you have it down here. Okay, that's good. All right, so here, okay, this is from Jens. Much harder than I thought. Oh, interesting. Okay, it's not that easy, right? If you do it for the first time and you play around with it, it's kind of complex to get things started. But once you get the hang of it, it's really nice to play around with this. And you added a lot of stuff on top of each other. So you have this kind of very nice city shot here. By the way, if you're in the US or like London or something like that, you have such a benefit, or like for photos, I mean, with all these kind of lighting up advertisements in the street, because that looks so cool. And in most of Europe, you don't really find that. Maybe in Hamburg, something like that, but most cities don't have that. I don't think also most cities allow that to be there. So yeah, really cool. Also these kind of neon lights. There's all these cool photos with people standing in front of windows with neon lights. We don't really have that here. You actually have a light, a tax on light. If the light falls onto the pavement, you have to pay tax for that. And this is probably why most of the shops don't have it. And you have to have a permit to do that. So you can't just willy-nilly put lights on your building. All right. Pretty cool. And you use the same fish 3 times. This one is a little bit skewed, so it's kind of turning, basically. The bubbles are a little bit... I don't know. I understand why you add them, but they don't really feel like they are in there. So that's a little bit it's a little bit strange maybe. And it makes the picture very flat. So, and by the way, this is again kind of an example where like a little bit of shadow and a little bit of dodge and burn to create a little bit of depth sense in the picture would have really helped a lot to make this more like connected, the elements to the scene behind it, and maybe add some of the bubbles, not that many, so there's a little bit of that effect there. Sprinkling them in, but like not overwhelm them, because this is like very much bubbles. Especially so close to the ground, they need to have to come from somewhere. All right, thank you very much, Jens. Let's go to the next one, which actually uses the same picture. That's funny. From Lorraine. And, oh, I don't know what this is called. What is it called in English? What is it called in German? Oh my God, I knew that when I was a kid, but now I don't. Anyways, it's kind of strange, to be honest, because he's coming like from the side here, but that doesn't really fit the perspective so well. So he's a little bit like a sticker on the picture. He's not really in the space. I know it's not that easy to create that, but like to play around a little bit to get a feeling for that, of course, needs experience and understanding how this kind of perspective works. But I think with playing around with it a little bit, you get the hang of it pretty quick. I think I also made a video about that for perspective on how to place things there. Yeah, and I think it's a bit more complicated if they come from the edge or from a corner of the picture, because it kind of has to fit with the perspective. And here we're basically hitting the ground with the lens anyways. So there isn't really space for him to sit in the picture. Probably with a different shot, if he comes out from behind a car or an object or something like that, or behind a house or so, that would be better. So to try to combine the perspective in some way makes it easier. Like I said, I've created a, if you go to my channel again and you look for perspective, by the way, I will look at the chat in 1 second, one moment. So you go here, click on this little icon here, and you click on perspective, boom, and there should be a video, this one here. And you can find out a little bit like a beginner's tutorial on how to construct perspective, to know where the ground is and how to put things in there to give you a starting point, at least, to get to understand how that works. Okay, sorry, I have to close this. I wish Facebook had kind of a like pausing thing for getting messages. It's interesting how many people use the same picture. So Marco also used this picture. There's a giant shark in there. I have to say, like, this picture is really lending itself to this kind of perspective effect, because also this shark looks really great in how it's swimming through that kind of city under the sea, and like a really giant shark in a, I would say, believable way. So that's really nice. And you also put a little bit of a surface in here, which actually looks good. It looks like like from here on out, the skyscraper is over the surface of the water. So actually pretty nice. Very cool. Very cool effect. Also from the colors and such, really like it. Very, very nice. Thank you, Marco. Okay, let's have a really quick look at the chat, what's going on here. On 2 ways. No. I'm streaming to one side, and that side is spreading it to other pages, so it doesn't take any extra streaming power. This was really my backup that is destroyed the upload rate. For the chat problem, there are 200 characters allowed. Okay, good. Yeah, so keep it short. That's a good point. Also makes it easier to read. There's almost no neon in Holland. Okay, so Holland also not. Like, but in Amsterdam, is Amsterdam in Holland? I think so. Sorry, in the Netherlands. This is the country with the most confusing naming ever, I think. Like, it's not even like the same area. It's very confusing. Yeah. From, I don't know. Anyways. we have talked about that before, I can remember. Makes such a nice picture. Murenen. Yes, that's the German word. Yeah, right. Hi, Manas. Thanks for joining. Moray eel. Really? That's the English word for that? Don't they have another word? Interesting. I'm making progress. You're welcome, Marco. You're welcome. Really nice that you make progress. LED in Amsterdam. Oh, okay. Yes. I think a lot of like places, like also in Hong Kong, they switched over to LED because it's cheaper, I guess. It's easier to produce. And you can change it on the fly, of course, on an LED panel. Yeah, so interesting. Okay, so thank you very much, Marco. Next one is from Adam. Oh, okay, interesting. This one I looked at before, like just in the preview, and you wrote something about a whale here. And I was like, that looks strange. I didn't look at it bigger. So when you look at it in the larger view, it actually is good when this kind of whale is coming out of here, although the water is not really matching the ground from the color, basically. And by the way, at this point, I can actually suggest to you to have a look at Affinity Revolution because he made a video about that for Affinity Photo on how to do that with the water. If I find it, there it is. This one. How to blend two images in Affinity Photo, and he did it especially this kind of combining water into tarmac. So yeah, have a look at that. It's called How to Blend Two Images in Affinity Photo. Check that out. And yeah, that's a good advice. Okay, one thing in this picture is that the whale and the background are very, very similar in color, so it's really hard to see the whale. And you could, for example, have like extended this kind of sunlight, like put a solid like ellipse shape on there with this kind of orange light and a blend mode like soft light or such, or lightning, something like that. So you make it look like sunlight, and then you put the whale on top of it, so there is some light behind it, and then the whale is darker than that, and so you have a clear outline. You know, and so it's much easier to understand what is going on in the picture, because here it's melting into the background in so many areas. It's really hard to see that a whale is jumping out of this puddle basically here. Okay, but cool idea, really interesting. Thank you very much, Adam. Let's go on to the next one. There I was at first confused, like what did you actually do here? By the way, is this the wait a second. I think in Sydney, right? They have this kind of huge wall of glass, and behind there is like a reconstruction of the barrier reef, and it looks really amazing. And maybe it's somewhere else. They have probably these kind of huge glass walls on different locations too. But I think it's in Sydney. They have this kind of water world, aqua world, something like that. Very impressive. But here you added this kind of city in the background, which is very nice. Really cool idea. I think the perspective is maybe a little bit off from the ground plane coming towards the girl, because like she looks up, but the city is photographed from the view downwards into like from a higher vantage point. Of course, the camera is also higher than the girl, but still. But anyways, it looks good. It works well, and it's really nice. Very cool combination of these two elements, and not that apparent at the first sight. So it's cool to like find that in the picture and think, oh, okay, wow, there's a sneaky little city back there. Really awesome. Okay, very cool. Thank you very much for that. Is it actually in the picture? Is this huge fish here? Wow. Okay, interesting. Is that Sydney or not? I don't know. Holland is within Netherlands. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think nobody outside of Holland or Netherlands knows that, because everybody thinks it's the same thing, at least from the people I know. If they think, okay, it's a synonym. But I think it's the same like with England and UK, basically, where people say, okay, it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing, you know? So, and I think with England, UK, Great Britain, and the Commonwealth, it's even more complex. Like a onion of different regions? I don't know. State forms? I don't know how you would call that in English. Okay, thank you very much for that. Pretty cool. Rosa, thank you. Jacob has done this one. Wow. Okay. Oh, there we are already in London. And a really big jellyfish on top of that. Very dreamy with, you know, I like violet and pink a lot. So that's perfect. And it also fits the colors of the, oh, you added that, did you? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. So you added this kind of light onto the water. I was thinking it's actually there. Okay, interesting. Great job. Really nice. Okay. Very cool. I was, okay, there is this kind of giant wheel here, so you couldn't have put it behind something. Because when I was first looking at it, I was thinking maybe this jellyfish would look more gigantic if the lower part was behind these buildings, but then there is this kind of Ferris wheel in the way, so you couldn't have done that. Because of that huge structure here, so that wouldn't have worked. Okay, pretty cool. Like it. Also with this little kind of, how do you call this? I don't know. Is it in the original picture? Yes, it is. Okay, interesting. Very nice. Very nice blending them together. Really cool. And I like the light effect down here on the ground. Really cool combination. By the way, again, with a little bit of dodge and burn, you can make it a little bit more 3D and like blend it a little bit more in there. So it feels more like it's there and you have this kind of giant structure that is floating in space. So play around with that a little bit and see what you get from that by just making some areas a little bit darker, some areas a little bit brighter. Like in this case, what actually would you make darker and brighter? I mean, normally, like we are so used that the upper part is brighter and the lower part is darker because of sunlight, but this is at night, so, I'm not sure, actually. You have to try around with that. The UK example. Yeah, very complex. And I think a lot of people don't know about that either. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Oliver, really nice combination. Not only did you combine the fish with the with this alleyway here, but you turn it sideways to make it more dramatic. So that's pretty cool. If you look at the original picture, it's like a very stable shot. And you could have just put the shark in here, but by turning it sideways, it's so much more dramatic. And also, I would say that the camera becomes subjective through that. So in camera terms, you have you could say the objective camera that is like mounted on something and is on its own. It's just a camera filming. And then you have the subjective camera, which means that the camera is looking through your own eyes. So it's like a perception of a person or an animal, like an actual feeling, living organism. You know what I mean? So it has some emotion in there. You can connect to the feelings of the view of the camera. While when it's stationary and just a technical thing, there is nothing to connect to. So that really has a huge effect here. Very nice. It also works very good with the light and shadow that is actually on the original shark, but then when you turn the picture to the side, it really mixes well with the situation it's going on here. Very cool. Like it. I also like how you have these bright light rays coming from the top, and then the shark is lurking in the darkness down there. So it's not that apparent at first. It's apparent, but he's hiding a little bit in the shadows. Very good. Very cool combination. Really interesting. Okay. Let's go on to the next one by Theo Is it Theo or Theo? I don't think it's Theo because there's no H in there. Theo. In German it's Theo, but I don't know what you would say in English. Okay, interesting. Okay. So there's a kind of a surface reflection. Would you call that a reflection, or is it like, it's not shadow, it's kind of a optical effect? I don't know how you call that. It's a good idea. And the thing that is not so great is why is this so bright here on the edges? Why is there this kind of halo around it? And it's kind of also a very blurred selection around that. Okay, we can look at the original picture. But this is, this looks like an easy selection to make with the selection brush because it's just black. And of course the black fades into the buildings and such. But you could have made also this kind of blue overlay and make it look more like an underwater effect. And then by making it a little bit darker on these areas, kind of to hide the fact that there is an uneven edge there, to blend that together, would probably have been better than having this very bright glowing edge here for some reason. Because you can clearly see it's a cutout. And because this looks so bright and there's up here, you changed it for some reason from blue to this kind of beige tone. So it kind of looks like a flying fish, like a really big fish plane, basically. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting idea, but the execution is kind of not so much there. So play around a little bit with this kind of things that I just said. To combine that a little bit better. But thank you very much anyways. So really interesting entry. Okay. Gregory has sent, oh wow, okay. Wow, another underwater city, really nice. Again, lots of bubbles. And by the way, these to blend something that's transparent and make it look good, that is very hard. So I often stay away from that also because it's really hard to, first of all, select something that is transparent or blend something, because there's always something, or in most cases behind the transparent thing, that also mixes with the blend, not just the kind of feeling or transparency that you want to have in there. So it's not that easy to do that. So I would have, like I said before, sprinkle in a little bit of bubbles, but not that many. Like here, it's like a really fizzy sea right now. It's a bit too much. And also it's really hard to see anything because of all these bubbles. But a little bit like playful bubbles that come from these little fish here and somewhere else to like connect the elements together. That would be good. But I like how you put these kind of light rays in here. And from the colors of the whale and the fish and the light situation and such, it looks actually good. I think without the bubbles, it probably would look even better. And you actually put in here a surface. It's also nice. Like this kind of water surface that's going back into the, how to say, into the perspective. So it's pretty cool. Maybe you put on the bubble to hide the combination of all these elements, but it's a little bit too much. Yeah, pretty cool though. Thank you, Gregory. Okay, let's go on. What else do we... Oh, glowy fish. There we go. Oh, wow. This looks like a painting almost. And you have a reflection. So I think this is the first time we have at least a partial reflection here on the right side. Oh, okay, this is, it was actually in the original picture. So, yeah, this is also why it's just on one side. Okay. But, I mean, it mixes well, although it's kind of missing here on that side. You could have painted it in a little bit. But, yeah, it's really nice. And there's like, I mean, again, a little bit too many bubbles maybe, but at least not like everything covered with bubbles. So this is kind of a nice element here, that you have these kind of bubbly things going up from the fish, and that he's like kind of believably floating through the alley. What is, by the way, what is this? Is this the back fin? It is the back fin. No. Oh, yeah, it is. He has like these 2 side fins here or something. I would have maybe cut that away. It's part of the fish, but it makes it kind of hard to read here, the fish shape, and it looks a little bit strange. So, maybe reduce that. But I really like the colors with this kind of a little bit turquoise blue and the pink and a little bit of these orange values. Really nice. Very cool. Very interesting. And you have a little bit like this part, for example, looks a little bit foggy for some reason. But I mean, for the sake of atmosphere, it looks kind of good. It's just like you ask yourself, why is it there? But at the same time, it kind of looks nice. So pretty cool. Alexis, thank you very much for posting that. Pretty cool. Very interesting. All right. What do we have here? Oh, by the way, let me see again this picture. Oh my God, we have a lot more of those. So there we go. Again, same picture. This is a bit strange. Either the fish are swimming upside down, or we are looking at a reflection in a pond of these houses, but then the problem would be that the reflection should be like wobbling with the surface, which is really hard to do in Affinity Photo. But so I don't think it's a reflection. And if it's not a reflection, the fish are actually there and we're looking through water, then the fish are actually swimming upside down. So that's a bit strange. And we see the water surface. So the elements are not really mixing that well here, you know? I understand the idea that you want to have all these kind of fish swimming through the city, but these kind of reflective rings here, they really like don't work that well. And also the fish are like I said, viewed from the wrong side, basically. But good idea. Like, go with that idea, try it again. It's always good to like don't give up and just like make another version and another version, because every version gets better. You will see with every version you learn a little bit of new tricks and it looks better than the last one. And then you can also see the difference between the first and the second version and see what you improved and where you made mistakes in the past. So this is also a very good way to have learning progress. All right, let's go on to the next one by Noel. This one is very nice. Really cool. Someone said it doesn't look like underwater. I don't know why. I think it looks very much like underwater. It's really cool. I suppose the city that's here in the background should or could be a little bit more like... what's the English word? Like foggy, let's call it foggy, like having less contrast. Like, you know, when you look through a lot of water, then you usually have this kind of, the contrasts are losing out and the colors are losing out and it's getting like very flat basically in the distance. But the part here in the front where you have this kind of white corals and the fish without any kind of blue on it, that's okay, because this is just like color grading that you do, like a white balance basically. So in the past we had these pictures where like negative film and you have this kind of just blue light on everything, but now we can just like do a white balance and it looks like normal, like we would see it with our eyes. So that's no longer a problem really. Looks really nice. Very cool. Very nice combination. Also, again, with the light rays here, giving a lot of atmosphere into the picture, and also good idea on combining these elements from the city and the corals. And by the way, as I'm seeing right now, this is the original picture. Is that Boston? This is like I've seen this picture before. It's kind of a famous shot. What's that city? It's not New York, I think. Okay. And you made these look like they are like crumbling. Very nice. Looks actually really good, the crumble effects and stuff. So that's pretty nice. Very cool. Yeah. Thank you very much, Noel, for that entry. Really cool. Is my stream still on? Current view 0? Did we drop? No, it says 83, so that's pretty cool. Okay, good. I think we're still online. Let me see if my router is still on. Yes. Okay. Good. There we go. Okay. Okay. This is another one where it's a little bit strange from the perspective. And from what is actually going on, I'm not sure. It looks like someone has thrown the fish on the road and it's just like splashing or something. So I guess the original idea was to have the fish swim like through, like as if everything of this was water, but then the perspective doesn't really mix. Like as you can see with the original pictures, here you have a plane that's going like this, like the surface of the tarmac. And in the other picture, you're looking flat on the top of the fish. So you would either have to bend the fish like this, but then it wouldn't work, because if you change the perspective that much, the fish would look really flat, like a piece of paper. Or you have to search for a picture where the fish is like actually viewed in the same kind of perspective plane as here, you know? I mean, here it's kind of easy because you have all these the writing here and the line on the street, so you can make kind of you can put a grid on that to see how the perspective is, and then try out different pictures of different fishes, blending it with it and seeing does it actually mix or not. And in this case, you would have to look for that the fish would actually sit below the surface, so a little bit different from the perspective than as if it would be on top of the tarmac. You know, like as you know with your hand, if you look at your hand and you move it down, now I can see the underside of the hand, now I can see the upside of the hand. So it makes quite a difference if it goes up or down in the perspective. It's not the same thing. You can't just push it down to another point, you know. All right. Yeah. The colors are nice from the combination, and I understand the idea, but perspective doesn't really mix. But it's a good attempt, so give it another try. Maybe find another fish that mixes better from the perspective. Yeah, pretty cool. Very nice. Okay, 1 second. Itchy nose. Sorry. Okay, there we go. What is this? Oh, okay, this is what I was talking about a second ago. If you bend the perspective too much, it just looks flat. And I think this is what happened here. Because you took like the fishes have been photographed from the side, and then you just like bended it over like this, and then suddenly it's just like they are printed on the surface of the road. So that doesn't work. Or you skewed them. Did you skew them so they are like thinner in height from the picture? Because that sometimes can look similar. So that didn't work out too good. I like the surface of the water and the foam that's up here a little bit, and then you have this guy. I would maybe have looked for some pictures of like water splashing that you can have added here in the back, or something where it touches the leg of the rider, to add a little bit more details that he's actually moving through the water, and then find some pictures of fishes they have actually photographed from the side, and then just maybe cut them out individually and put in there like 2, 3, 4 different fishes, because here it's just like a paper print on the surface, so that doesn't work too much. Okay, thanks Hamish, thanks for joining, see you soon, bye. All right. Okay, let's go on. I don't think we have that many more. By the way, okay, wait a second. Can I do a poll here? I don't think I can do that. Let me know, because the original topic was street photography. Should we talk about street photography, or should we talk about how to prepare a shoot with a model, for example, and how to come up with ideas for photo shootings? What kind of thing would you rather talk about? You can decide now. Write it in the chat and let me know. What do you think? Chat on Facebook with you. Hey, okay, good. I can also see the Facebook chat over here. It only, like, you have to click on the live video and then you see a chat on the right side. The comments don't really work as chat entries. Okay, let's go with the other pictures here. Let me know, like everybody, just write there what you want to talk about. Okay, because like I said, the street photos didn't work out as great, so we can talk about that in general. We can talk about pictures from Unsplash. Although, by the way, what I found out is that most people actually photograph people. They don't photograph just like architecture and stuff. And that, of course, makes it a lot easier when you photograph people. And I kind of wanted it, but I was too shy to just talk to strangers. And I also just didn't want to use their pictures on a live stream without them really understanding what's going on. So it was a bit strange, you know? So I didn't do that. I didn't ask anyone. Yeah. Although they probably would have said yes, but still, yeah. Okay, let's go back to this picture. I think I've seen this picture, by the way. There is one with this bowl with the fishes in it, and then you added the city. So it's a cool idea. Little bit of things that don't work that well is that, like, as you can see, that the city is just like going into the sides of this glass ball. So either like have a picture with, or like remove some buildings or such. So you have like buildings in the middle, and then you want to maybe have a little bit of bending if this is kind of a glass bowl, or if you just look through to make it look like both the fish and the city are in the bowl in the same way, because you can see that the fish have very low contrast and then the city has very high contrast. So not very high contrast, but normal contrast. And that doesn't really mix together. By the way, again, let me click on my YouTube channel. This is one of the early videos I did, and I think it's still good, actually. If you go here and search for Lighthouse, you will find this one. It's called World in a Light Bubble, and I added this lighthouse to a light bubble picture, and then also some light rays going out of it. So you can check that out. Search on YouTube, yeah, for Affinity Photo World in a Light Bubble. No, light bulb, sorry. Light bulb. And it's actually 2 years old, but it's still a cool video. All right. There we go. So check that out. Good idea still. For that one. So thank you very much, Hamish. Oh, he just left. Oh, okay. Street photography and DSGVO. Yes, that's also a thing. Like, you would have to have a release form with you and have them sign and all that kind of stuff, you know. Which, I mean, it's not that complicated, but on the other hand, if you have someone who doesn't know anything about these kind of things and then you want them to sign a contract, that's maybe a bit complicated. But I want to try it, like, also, like this kind of just meeting people on the road and see if we can do some cool pictures for them, edit them, send them to them. Like, it's kind of a nice thing for them to happen, but you would have to explain to them and then just do it maybe with 1 or 2 persons, you know, not so much like on the fly with like a lot of people, you know. Okay, let's go for the next one. What is the... Oh, a lot of people want to talk about street photography. Okay, interesting. Okay. A lot of street. So yeah, of course, most people have a lot of street out there. Okay. I will show you the stuff that I did, and it's not that great, but yeah. We will have a look at that, and also at some Unsplash pictures. Okay. This is a nice one. It actually fits very well together. There is some elements that don't fit that well, like when they get like this shadowy down here. Maybe paint a little bit on it with ambient light or something like that to blend them a little bit better. And like, because this looks like it's a lot further in the distance, so it doesn't feel like it's that much further in the distance. But these look really cool, I think, like from this kind of glow effect and light shining on them. And I think did you paint a little bit of glow in here too? So that's pretty interesting. That's really nice. And just these two could maybe be a little bit darker, a little bit like had this kind of, what do you call it, navy blue, I think, on it. Yeah, but other than that, it's pretty cool combination, really nice. I also like how this is kind of going behind this kind of light streak here. So that's very nice. Thank you very much, Rob. Very cool. Has released forms you can download. Oh, that's pretty cool, because I need one tomorrow and I didn't prepare it yet. I think I can just send it to her after the shooting too. That should be no problem. But yeah. Okay. What's going on here? Judy combined these pictures from Pixabay. Well, I do understand the idea. It's also funny. And like I said, you can combine it in that way where it doesn't look super realistic, but it's just a fun kind of thing, like a meme, for example. That's just like, you understand the idea without it having to be too realistic. So from that point of view, it's pretty cool. From a realistic point of view, of course, it's kind of strange because there's a brick wall and they're kind of sitting in the brick wall. But as a meme kind of thing, it's kind of funny, you know? And I think this kind of style works for it, you know? You also have that, for example, if you look at TV shows, like, for example, what is it called? Like The Daily Show and stuff like that. They have these graphics, and they are specifically made in a way where you can see that they are like just goofy, playful combinations of different things, probably also because they don't want the audience or anybody else think that this person has actually been in this kind of situation. For example, if they make fun of some politicians or something, it's better to make it obvious that this is just like a playful like creation that they did and not an actual documentation picture or something, you know? So yeah, pretty cool. Nice idea. Thank you very much, Judy. How much more do we have? Oh, just 2 more pictures. I'm not sure I'm going to show this one because I looked at it. It's kind of strange. I'm not sure we can show these people. So I think I will spare this out. Sorry, Colin, for that. It says miniature scene, but it's not. I thought it's maybe plastic figures, but I don't think it's plastic figures. It's real people. So I'm not sure we can show them. Yeah, let's go with this one though. And this is kind of funny with this fish on all the boards here. And it's really nice how much work you put into putting them into the right perspective, because I think all of them actually work from the perspective on the building. So that's pretty cool. They are not really blended well from the kind of light situation. Like if you look at the original picture here, you can see, whoops, that's the fish. We don't want to see the fish. You can see that these screens, they have a different kind of color if you photograph them compared to the rest. As you know, also like with if you take your smartphone and film your TV, and the room in the background, you will see that there's like a different color, even though usually when you look with your eyes at the TV, the colors look good and the room looks good. But if you use your smartphone, you will see that the room and the colors have completely different kind of color setups or white balances. It looks very strange. And you often see that also with these kind of screens. And here you can see they are blown out and stuff like that. But I understand that at the same time you wanted to have this like very well visible. So for that reason, it's okay to have it more apparent than it usually would be. Very nice, really cool idea. Thank you very much for that. Did add some light to the 3 larger jellyfish. Okay. Indeed, Olivia, probably light than the other. Okay, interesting, yeah. The 1984 fish edition. Okay. Skipped some pictures. I skipped some pictures? Really? Which picture did I skip? Let me see. We talked about... Oh, there's one we skipped, yeah? Oh, there's 2 we skipped. How did that happen? Okay, so let's look at these 2 too. What time do we have? Okay, 1 hour, so we are still good on the time limit. Again, a little bit of perspective problem, not so extreme here. And also it kind of fits that this is a surface and this is kind of a surface of the road. So that fits together. It's just like, as you can see, the perspective is different. If you look at the original pictures here, it's kind of flat. And then here, it's going into the depth of the picture, you know, different kind of angle. You probably, if you would photograph fish in that kind of angle, it's not that easy to see them in the picture. So for that reason, it's probably easier to use that one. But then it doesn't fit so well to the ground. So that might be a little bit of a problem. And also the blending again of the colors and the light situation doesn't fit that well. Like you have so much orange light up here, and then the surface has this kind of greenish blue tone. So it looks very different. By the way, let me check that the this thing doesn't upload here. Can I do that? Back up now? Okay, that's good. All right. So that should be good. Okay. Thank you much, Ingo. Thank you very much. So try to blend this a little bit better together from the colors and see how that looks. And with the perspective, I don't think we can do too much because they are just too different. But it's still nice. It's a very nice idea. There seems to be a lot of these works where the surface becomes water. That's really interesting. Okay, let's look at this one. What is going on here? Can you see the fish are burning alive? What? So this is by Peter. I'm not sure what is going on here. He added some thunder or lightning. I'm always saying the wrong thing. And then some fish in very strange positions. I don't know what is going on here. So is this the fish god or something? There's a story here, and this is the other one, like in a dirty river or something. I'm not sure. And you can see that from the original picture that you see in the background, that the surface isn't where the fish is sitting. So the fish is like meters over the surface. If you look at this kind of pier here, and then you have some even stone and gravel back here, and there's a very shallow water behind that. So I don't know. Very strange combination. Okay. Yeah. I actually don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry. It's more one of these kind of photo collages that are more fun and maybe have a kind of, like in this case, a statement about nature or something like that. But it doesn't necessarily look convincing to be the fish actually being there. Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Just arrived, so I missed it. Oh, okay. Hi, Greg. Thanks for joining. Okay, did we miss anything else? So wait a second, talked about these. Is there something more? I don't want to show this. We talked about this and that and this. Yes, this. Yes. I think we covered all the other pictures. All right. Okay, good. So that's that. Let's switch over. So I think everybody said street. I kind of hoped you would say preparation for a shooting, because I can talk about that and without having to prepare anything. All right. Hi, Ricardo. Thanks for joining. Okay, so I will show you real quick what I did. Let me switch here over to the talk view so I can change my software. Boom, there we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, I have to look at the other chat from Facebook too. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, there's a comment from Twitch too, because I'm also streaming on Twitch right now. So, hi, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay. So this also works on Twitch. Interesting. I don't think, like, maybe on Twitch 1 or 2 people are watching. I don't know. Okay. Let me switch over to the software. And then, yeah, like I said, I went out and I have my new camera now with the prime lens, and it's an 85 millimeter. And that doesn't work too well with city photography because it's a portrait lens. So yeah, I didn't get that good pictures, to be honest. I'm not that satisfied, but we can still look at them, and then we can talk about stuff like street photography in general, which it's kind of complex, especially with asking people for their permissions or not, because the problem is also always that the people look really cool when they don't suspect to be photographed, like in their natural habits, you know. And when you ask them, then you go in this kind of, oh, I'm getting photographed mode, I need to look good. And but you don't want to photograph that. You want to photograph a person, how the person acts, you know. And I don't know. Interesting. Anyways, let's have a look at these pictures. Don't expect too much. Okay. And wait, I maybe should close this. That's in the way. Can I hide this maybe? Oh, I can. Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I can hide this, but never mind. Okay, so let's look at some of these are, by the way, also unedited, so we can edit them a little bit maybe. Let's switch over again to the view. There we go. Okay, where's the... So, yeah, as you can imagine, 85mm has kind of a narrow field of view. So you can't have this kind of wide angle thing that you would like to have when you want to capture a scenery. And you also don't have this kind of bending of perspective that you have. I can show you actually, 1 second. We can talk about that for a second. I think that might be interesting. Let's go back to the browser. Where is it? There's the art lenses. So this is basically the collection of Sigma lenses, and they have some pictures here. And one thing that's interesting, for example, if you go for a 14mm like this one, this is bending the space around what you photograph. That sounds really stupid. What I want to say is, when you look at this picture, for example, by Alexei Makov, so this is on the Sigma page, by the way, and you can see that the foot is really big. And because this is a very wide angle lens, almost, I think maybe it's a fisheye lens, I'm not sure. And this, what is the right word in English? Skews? Does it skew the perspective? It bends it. It like bends it into a different kind of look. And you also have this a lot with other lenses, but not so much with the 85mm lens, which keeps the like shapes in anatomically correct, let's say it like that. You know, there's not so much bending going on in there, which is a nice effect. At the other hand, you often want to have this kind of dynamic view because it makes it more energetic and more like you feel more like in the scene, and has this kind of powerful, like, wow, there's some cool stuff going on. So yeah, it has kind of a different effect, you know, on the picture. All right, let's go back to these pictures here. And yeah, so like I said, not edited, not that great as pictures, but we can still look at them. 40mm has too much distortion. Yeah, but it can be really cool, this distortion, you know, especially if you like with a concert or something, it feels like, or like with, for example, a GoPro, think about that, like these kind of action cam things, they bend the stuff around them, but because of that, everything looks larger than life and like amazing, even if it's not that amazing on its own. From when you look at it with your eyes, it would look different, but because it's bent in that way, it looks like wow, you know, it has this kind of wow effect to it. Yeah, 85 is very narrow for street photography. That's true. And yeah, but I wanted to try my new lens. I edited this a little bit so you can see how much of a difference that makes to the picture. We can play around a little bit with editing. And I think especially with street photography, the editing is a huge part of the picture because I don't know, like, tell me how you feel about street photography. I feel like street photography is more of a kind of photographic poetry. What's going on? Someone is following. Okay. It's your mother is following. Okay. These are the Twitch usernames. I hope we don't get any kind of, yeah, stranger usernames. They can be a bit, yeah, foul language sometimes. But thank you very much for following. All right, let's go on. And yeah. So I feel like street photography has a very poetic part in it, and the editing like actually turns the picture into what you want to show rather than the original picture, if you know what I mean. You can, of course, see it in a different way, and like tell me what you think about it, how you see that. Wait, okay, now we go on. This was one where I just thought it was nice to have this kind of flower and just shoot up on all these buildings on top of it. And this is kind of the edited version. And it's interesting with pictures how much the editing process defines what the picture is and brings the elements together. Again, kind of this poetic way. But you can also use it in portrait photography or other elements, especially if you want to combine colors, or if you want to point out different elements in a picture and make them more important or more apparent, and just get them into a certain rhythm. By the way, can I hide this down here somehow? This kind of information, it's kind of in the way. Oh, there we go, it's gone. Okay, good. It's kind of gone. Not really, but you can see that there, like, this looks like everyday, the trivial, I don't need to care about that. And this looks kind of interesting, right? And this is like how much editing changes a picture. So that's a very interesting process. Yeah. By the way, you will see very often, and I also made a video about that, this switch of the green to this kind of yellow green that nature has in it to this kind of darker, saturated, deeper green. You see that really often, also in professional photography and such. There's also, by the way, there's a good example here on the page I showed you before for the 50mm lens. Really beautiful picture by a artist called Gustarev. And again, you can see how this changed the colors of the leaves, and that makes them so much better. If you just take a picture of leaves, of nature, of trees, of bushes, it doesn't look good. It has this kind of green look in it. And also, and this is interesting, this is important if you photograph people, our skin has, did I say green? No, the yellow elements. Our skin has yellow elements in it, and the leaves also have yellow elements in it. So the problem here is if you combine them together, if they are next to each other, if they are combined, this is what I wanted to say, they are too close to each other. So if you push them apart by making the skin darker and warmer colored, and the leaves this kind of a darker green, and take the yellow out of it, then you have a much bigger distance between the two. So that can be a very nice effect. By the way, I found yesterday a picture on Pinterest that shows that really nicely. I'm not sure if I can find it right now, but we can try. So here's some, there it is. Okay, portrait ideas. Boom, look at that. So this is the original picture up there, and you can see how the yellow tones from the skin and the yellow tones from the plant just mix together, and there is not enough distance between them to make it really apparent. And then if you look at the picture below, of course there's been done some other editing, but how now the orange and the green from the leaves are actually like complementary colors, you know? Now they have an actual interesting relation to each other from the color spaces. So that's really nice. Okay, let's go back to these pictures. How do I make this big again? No, sorry, that's not. There we go. Okay, so let's look through the others. So we can edit some of them. This is, again, not so nice. There we have just a leaf. We can play around with that. And I took a lot of different pictures from that. So this is just one of the pictures that I took from a lot of different perspectives and angles. And by the way, I really wanted to play around with the bokeh of that the lens has, and you can see how like very slim this is. This is also slim for the reason that I actually set the lens to 1.4. You can of course open it up, close it down a lot more, but also it was like shortly before sunset, like 1 hour away from sunset. It was already kind of getting dark. So I wanted to have a lot of light in there. And then you have this very like thin line of sharpness, especially with that lens. But at the same time, it's really cool because you can focus on things. And if you edit this, for example, black and white, by the way, we can try this here. If we go here just to the presets, there is one preset. Let me see. Like, for example, this one here has a little bit of blue touch. Yeah, we would have to do a little bit more editing. But, I mean, it's already changing stuff. The U-Bahn in Venus is amazing for photography. Yeah, it is. I think also with a wide angle lens, you can take some really cool pictures in there. Let's reset that. Let's have a look at something else. We can also play around with that later a little bit. Smartphone high ISO. It's also interesting. Is this sharp? I think it's just a little bit sharp here in the middle. Let's see. Yeah, so these details are almost sharp. Okay, interesting. Let's reset that. We have to play around with that a little bit later. Let's have a look at the other pictures though. Okay. So this is more like a classic thing, like repeating elements, always looking good in photos. So these are the doors of the, how would you say, not cable cars, but it's a train, but it's going on the street. What is that called? A tram? Is it called a tram? So this is a tram station, actually. There's like every one of those has a tram. Like this is actually a repair shop where they go inside to be repaired. We have another shot of that later on. And again, I really like with the bokeh how much you can like just single out elements. So for that reason, also like with the video yesterday that I made about the like very affordable lenses, like this 50mm 1.4 or 1.8 that you can get, and you can get a lot of bokeh in there, that you can just separate these things. And this is like a flat plane, so this is sharp, and then before it, afterwards, everything is blurry. So this is as a design element or a photographic, would you say design element in photography? It's easy and it's fun, and it gives you such a range of expression basically. So that's pretty cool. Okay, that's a tram. Yeah. Define bokeh. A bokeh is just the blur basically. The blur that you see here in the back and in the front. Like in video games, you would say depth of field basically. So the blur in the background. And the blur on its own is called bokeh, and then you also have these kind of bokeh balls. When you have light and they get very blurry, they get these kind of round circles. You will see that in a second. I have also some pictures of that. There is the inside of that building, and yeah, not so great. I tried around with different sharpnesses to put the sharpness here on the gate and then on this stripe here and then in the back. And by the way, this reminds me very much of my age and of my eyes, because it's not that easy to see where the actual sharpness is going on that small screen. You can look at it afterwards when you zoom into it, but in that case, you probably want to have like a tripod to just like go with the zoom and click, 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 and make multiple pictures so you can move the sharpness, the sharp area back to afterwards decide what looks good, what looks bad. Okay, good. Proportion. Wait a second. So, oops. No, let's not move that over. Wait a second. So, to react also to Twitch. Hi again. You just rage quit Gears of War 5. I really like Gears of War 5. It was amazingly, like surprisingly good, let's say. Gears of War 4, not so much. Gears of War 5 was pretty cool. Also with the open world thing. I really like that. I was surprised by that. It's not that long though. It could be longer. All right. Okay. let's go back to the to the actual stream here. By the way, do you like the pictures so far? Like I said, they are not edited, they are not cropped, there is nothing done to them. It's just the pictures. Of course, I myself always very critical of the pictures. They're not anything special. They are just like, but maybe a little bit interesting. Here again, I was playing around with the where to put the sharpness in the picture. So here it's just at the end. And this could be a really nice picture if you have a model standing between the trains and she is sharp, but the trains are not sharp. That could be cool. Here's another one where the sharpness is in the middle and the front and the back are blurred. And this is more like you can see how much of a difference that makes, while here you have this kind of focus on the part in the end. Here, the technical part of the train standing there gets much more apparent. It has much more this kind of industrial feel. So that could be really interesting. What is, oh, there's the focus is coming a little bit closer. And I think I also, no, okay, I didn't select one where the focus is in front. Yeah, okay, so a little bit of tools standing around. I took a lot of pictures on that on the train yard. Yeah, nothing special. Okay, this looked better on the camera. I don't like it. Maybe you like it. Oh, by the way, here you have a little bit of the bokeh balls. And by the way, here you can also see some of the, like, this is a kind of special thing with the Sigma 85, that it has this kind of cat eye effect when you go 1.4. It goes round when you go, I think, 2.2, 2.8, something like that. And then you have actually round bokeh balls even on the edge of the picture, but at 1.4 you get this kind of cat eye. But personally, I would say I like that actually. I don't think it's a downside. Okay, let's go. Yeah, there we have a little bit of flowers. Again, not edited, not cropped, just a picture. And again, I really like how you can single out things with this narrow field of sharpness, that you just have like this and a little bit down here. And because of that, you can guide the attention and you don't see everything at the same time, which can be a very nice element because you can be overwhelmed by all the details, but now you only have to look at like 2 or 3 of these. Are they blossoms? I don't know. Okay, what's the chat saying? You just read my mind. Ah, yeah, with the model between the trains. I have to try that. I need to find someone to stand there and take some pictures. That would be really interesting. Yeah, streetcar photography is more about people, but today I really didn't want to ask them and then put their pictures into the stream without them understanding what is going on. And I have to do that at some point, maybe with either asking the people or like bringing people with me where I can take pictures of them. But usually you want to find a situation. And you can see here, like already there is an animal and it's that much more interesting. And this guy is just super cute from his kind of style and look and this little jacket here and stuff. Very nice. He's very cute. Okay. So yeah, it's really a much more about people. But like, for example, this is a difference in the US. You can take pictures of people, and I think you are allowed to even publish them. It's very different from here, because here you have something called the Bildrecht, so the image rights of your own face, basically. So people can't just take a picture of your face and then publish it or use it. You can actually take pictures but not publish them. So you're legally allowed to take the pictures, though. And that makes it a lot more complicated, though. Yeah, so that's a bit more complex here. And I have to talk about with some other people how they see it and how to use that, because I mean, technically you can take the picture first and then ask people afterwards. I'm not sure how they would react to that, but if you ask them first, then the moment is gone, you know, then it's just, you just take a photo of a person. Of course, people can be very interesting on their own, so that could be nice. You shoot street photography and never have people in your photos? Okay, that's interesting too. Although, by the way, I would be interesting how do you see the difference between street photography and if it's just like, for example, architecture, is it then architecture photography or still street photography? Or do you find situations like, I don't know, a rusty bike or something lying around on the ground or something like that? Like I said, my pictures today are not amazing. This is like not interesting. This is just a picture, also not interesting. Oh, I took these two just to show the difference. Like this is a normal picture just taken, and this is with the camera more to the ground. And you can see how much this changes the dynamic of the picture. You see, just a normal shot doesn't look special at all. And this, maybe not an amazing shot, but at the same time, it's a lot more interesting and dynamic. And like there's more to look at this kind of situation. Like I said, it's not a great shot. I just took the shot and I thought it's nice to show the difference between this kind of position and this kind of position. So that can be nice. Yeah. Without asking them, I do sometimes people from the back. Yeah, that's also good. Like just from the from the back. Although I asked a friend and she said if they recognize themselves, it's still not allowed. I'm actually not sure about that. I think if you can't see the face and maybe some other like tattoos or something that really identifies a person, it's allowed. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I don't do street photography a lot. This, by the way, is one I really like. Like just a broken bicycle basket and having a nice composition, and it's interesting to look at, you know. So yeah, and there I don't have a problem photographing this, so that's also a positive about that. Yeah, all right. But I want to go out like and do more actual like this photography where you photograph structures of buildings, for example, you know, interesting points of view onto buildings. So today was just like to see what can I do with the 85 millimeter. Does it work or not? I have read or I have seen in other YouTube videos before that it's really hard to take street photos with that, but I just wanted to try for myself. Here we have some kind of seating elements, this kind of abstract marble shapes that you can sit on, and that was interesting to photograph, and I took a lot of different perspectives also of that. So that was interesting to play around with that. Maybe this would be also nice as a black and white picture. Oh yeah, and there I have just some lights just to have this kind of bokeh, and you can see how in the middle it's round, and then if it goes to the side it becomes more and more cat-eyed. So this is the kind of effect that the Sigma 85 has at 1.4, by the way. This one is not too bad, I would say. It's not amazing, it's nothing special, and with a little bit of editing you can get a lot more color and detail in there, but it's nice, I would say. It's not too bad. Yeah, Herrengasse, absolute. That's Herrengasse. Yeah, someone as a local here. Okay, yeah. Okay, there's another one that's kind of strange. What is this? Oh, there is this column in the middle. I haven't straightened the picture yet. So there is a column here, and there's a column here in front and a column in back, and so you have these kind of bokeh balls in front and in back, but not in the middle. So that's a little bit of that. What else do we have here? Another detail shot. Like I said, none of them are special. I actually was like, I'm not sure if I want to show them at all. Yeah, but some more stuff. This is upside down, and it's really, because I like to actually shoot wide angle most of the time, and it's so different when you go there and you see a scene and you think, hey, this could be good, this could be really interesting, and then you look through your camera and it's like looking through the keyhole of a door. It's so super different, very, very different, and I just have to get adjusted to that and to see what you can do with that. Yeah. But you can do some cool stuff, especially this kind of more abstract stuff like this one is actually interesting. I'm not sure if I would call this street photography because it's such a detail, but man, it's not too bad. This one is amazing, by the way. This one is in the blue hour. It's not a good photo, but this one was photographed in the blue hour. And when you go in here, wait a second, let me make this bigger, one by one. And you can see sharp details here. You know, this here, you can actually see the texture of the fabric. Of course, it's very noisy from the ISO. And also you have some details here. And this is in the blue hour, already almost dark around me. So I was really amazed that this worked. So I was just like taking the picture to see would that work or not. You can see also here, nice details. So I was pretty impressed by how much light you can get into that lens. That is really awesome. And you can see from the blue here on the blossom that this is actually inside of the blue hour. All right. How much more do we have? Oh, there we have a little bit of bokeh ball action again. Let's make this big. This one, again, not a great photo, but yeah. It was nice to play around with that. Okay. And yeah, the Opera in Vienna, again, not edited or anything, so this is why it's bent a little bit to the side. Yeah, and this again also bent a little bit to the side, or like at an angle, photographed at an angle. So there needs to be some more editing. And yeah, some details. It's just not good. It's just not interesting. Okay, never mind. So these are my horrible street photos from today. Maybe some of them are not too bad. I actually like this one that I also edited a little bit because this is like more abstract and it kind of looks interesting. It has a story in there, you know, this kind of, you know, a little bit between, on the one side, this kind of small family romance, and on the other side, this kind of building where lives are stacked on top of each other, just one, like a hen cage or something, you know. So that was kind of a nice combination. This one is actually one of the few that actually turned out well. Yeah. It called it element photography. Oh, interesting. I've never heard that. Is that an actual term, or did you come up with element photography? Never heard of that. You have a lot of awesome photos which you can combine with some other photos to get real art. Oh, okay, thank you. Don't be too critical of your work. I'm always too critical of my work. I always come home disappointed and think, oh my God, this sucked. This was so bad. And then it turns out actually not too bad. But yeah, I'm often very critical of my own stuff. Yeah. And I like to prepare a lot. So these kind of spontaneous things are not that much my thing. Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone said we should do raw editing. So should we maybe take this photo and do a raw editing inside of Affinity Photo? Or maybe another one? I'm not sure what we can do with that, although I think this has potential. What else could have potential? Most of that is, I mean... Let's try this one. At least this is kind of classic. It's a little bit boring, but it's classic. So we could try this one. Let's open this up. No. How do I show input? Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so let's take this photo. Let's open this up with Affinity Photo. There we go. And then let's see what we can get out of that. If we can do something with it that's interesting. The dog photo, really? I still haven't updated. And there's a new version coming out too, so I really should do that. Is this? Let's do this first, and then we can also look at the dog photo. Oh, we have like almost 2 hours, so I have to be a little bit quick with that. Let's play around here a little bit. By the way, interestingly enough, Affinity Photo does not recognize that lens. Although it is in here, that's the interesting thing. Sigma 85. But, and this, by the way, if you want to buy this lens, you have to look out. There is a Sigma 85 that is called HSM, and this is an old lens that they just made. It's not an old lens, but I understand that it's like an old design or something, and they just made it the mount for Sony. And then there is a new lens. This is the one that I have. It's called DN. And the DN lens is much smaller and lighter, and it is like a more modern version of that. So yeah, be sure you look out for that. I don't even think this needs that much correction. Let's go in here. And by the way, to be honest, Affinity Photo is very basic from the raw editing, so I'm actually not too sure what to do in here. Because usually I use Photolab for that, but we can tweak it a little bit. You can see we get some nice, but at the, I don't know why to do it here and not in the normal persona where I can have it non-destructive. You know what I mean? So I'm a bit confused about that. Okay, let's do some adjustments here. Maybe a little bit more saturation. That looks good. Noise reduction. I don't think we need that too much. Detail refinement. What can we do here? Is this like sharpening? I really, for RAW, if you want to spend a little bit of money, get the Photolab version. Because you can do so much in there. It has very smart adjustments too. Oh, it actually gives it a little bit more sharpness. Okay, interesting. What is it? Let's pump this up full. Okay, let's keep it like that. Tone stuff I would rather do in the normal persona. You can see there's not so much you can do here. It's a little bit of white balance, shadow and highlights. But I would do that in the normal persona, to be honest. Yeah, so some basic tweaks. And then you say develop, and then you go over to the normal, like, picture adjustments. The lens profile into Affinity. That could be. And then, by the way, this is another cool thing about Photolab, that if you connect a new camera or new lens, it will recognize it and automatically suggests to you, and then it downloads it and applies it to it. So that's also very nice. Let's crop this, I would say 16:9. We have already, by the way, when you, on this little wrench here, you click on that, you get a lot of formats in here. So that's pretty nice. See that? There's a lot of stuff in here, because usually I have always entered it by hand, but you can actually click here, boom, and there you have it, 16:9, and we have our nice, how can I say, third grid on there, so we can put this down here. So we have a nice selection applied, and this is not cropped actually, because the original picture is still there. You see, I can still go back to the original. If I want to. You see, it's all still there. Let's undo this. Oh, I undid it twice. That's not good. Redo. Okay. And then, by the way, we can now look at, so we can look at versions. I wanted to talk a little bit more about street photography. Anyways, let's do this. So down here, you see you have snapshots. And you can simply click on add snapshots, so you can make different versions of that. So for example, and you can, this is really nice for just playing around and see, hey, what do I get from that picture? So let's, for example, let's go black and white here. And then we play around with these kind of settings to see what kind of values you want to have in here. I would always wiggle any of these levers around to see if they have an effect on the picture or not, and then adjust them basically to your taste. Should we have more or less? I think like I want to have less light back there. Let's pull these down. What if we pull them? No, not that much maybe. Just a little bit. Okay, so we have this. And then we can actually, I make a donut here. So I have my very own vignette kind of style. Let's make this smaller and black. Like so, and then I can go to Effect, Gaussian Blur, and just pull this up. Let's go to, let's say 500, because this has quite a resolution. And then I just pull this out, like so. And so I can set my, wait a second, there we go. I can set my vignette wherever I want it to be, you know. It's much more flexible. Let's make this maybe 800. Okay, like this. And then we will reduce the opacity of that so it's not that much. Just a little bit of vignette, so we have a little bit more focus on this stuff down here. And then I want to have more detail in here. So we could maybe go with clarity. Let's see. Okay, this is snap to that. Always look for this happening. If this snaps, you don't see the effect. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's invert that, layer invert, so you can see that now it doesn't have effect. And now I take a brush, and now we can make the brush a little bit bigger, like so, and just paint this in with white. Let's give me, the opacity is low enough, so that's good. So now I can just paint on these details here that I want to have my clarity on. And you can see now that I have clarity in the leaf, but not on the rest of the stuff. Okay, we can actually duplicate that too. So we have even more clarity in here. So you can see now I have double the effect. So this is without. And this is with the clarity. There's lots of structure in here, which is kind of nice also for black and white. And then we could actually think about putting a lens filter on here with some blue in there. Okay. So you have a kind of a little bit of blue touch in here. Is it, or is it stupid with the blue touch? Try some sepia. Let's try some sepia, it's maybe better. Okay. There's a little bit of a problem here, like you see when you have this and you look at that, that sometimes, like for example here, when I have it in this zoom right now, that Affinity Photo and often also other software doesn't render it as it actually looks. So this looks very muddy here and not very detailed, but then when you zoom into the picture, you see that it has already actually a lot of structure in there. And sharpness and contrast, so it actually looks good. You don't see it because it's smaller. You would have to export it and then to look at that. Orange works better, but this the one that I applied, or like a different tone, because as you can see here, this is orange. I just made it darker. It's dark, a little bit brownish orange, of course. Okay, and now what you can do here is you can click here on Add Snap, and you can say sepia black and white, boom. So this is one version, and now you can actually delete these areas here, and you can start fresh with something else. So because when I now go here and say restore, so you have to click on that. So this is blue and then click on restore. You can see everything is back again. So this is really nice to save different copies. I actually also made a video about that. And now we can, for example, go for a different version. Let's, for example, go here and say curves and set that to soft light. So we already have this kind of pumped effect here, a little bit like that. And then we can say we want to have more sharpness in here. Although for that, you should actually zoom in. Like so. Okay. Should we do something else? By the way, with the light disk, I told you before, so you make this kind of disk here, and then, for example, we can go for an orange light, like so. Let's try that. And I go again, let's go, I don't know, let's go for 1000 here, because this picture has pretty big resolution. It doesn't show for some reason, I don't know why. Oh, because it says preserve alpha, so that's not good. And then we set this, I think screen should work. Let's try screen. Pull this up here. I actually made a pack for that, for these kind of light effects. Let me click real quick here on styles. You can see here I made a light leak pack for that. What? I used add as a blend mode. Interesting. Oh, there's also screen. Okay. So actually, if you, again, let's go to my channel real quick. Oh, there is my channel. Light leak. I made this pack here. That's actually done for light leaks, but you can also use it for sunlight effects if you want to. And that is actually very nice. From the, as you can see, from what the light looks like. So you can push this, for example, over here, and then have a little bit of light coming in here. And this, in this case, it's oh, it's actually round. Is it round? That's okay. 1 second. Oh, they are locked. Okay, now they are unlocked. Okay, and so we have from starting with an evening shot, almost sunset, we went to an afternoon shot with a little bit of light coming in here. You can actually duplicate this if you want to, so like this, to bring a little bit more light into here. There we go. And wait a second, maybe I pull this down to here, so it's on all of the picture, like so. And then this other one, maybe let's make it a little bit smaller, put it here. There we go. Okay, and then you can simply go again to your snapshots. By the way, if you don't see that, go to View and then to Studio, and then you go to Snapshots. So you see that. And so I can now say here, add a snapshot, and I call this afternoon sunset. Boom, I have a second version. And again, I can switch between them. So this is the version before, and this is the other version we just created. It's pretty awesome, right? You can go like, just like that, really, really easy. Too much orange? Oh, okay. In this way, it's too much orange? Do you see it differently on my screen? Or do you mean the new one, the sunset version is too much orange in here? We can adjust the colors if we want to. So we can go in here and, for example, this tone, Can change it to something else. By the way, I made I have especially made for the pack light leak gradients. There we go. And we have these like, oh, this is not the full version, by the way. This is like a reduced version, I think. And there's a lot of different light leak colors in here where you can just click through them to see what kind of, but these are actually light leaks, so they are not supposed to be sunlight in that kind of way. Yeah, but you're right, it's a little bit too orangey. Can reduce that a little bit maybe. Or you know what? Let's go back to what we had before. And then I will just go in here and we go to HSL slider, and there we can desaturate it a little bit, and we can also make it a little bit brighter. And then we already have a different kind of color. Should we make it a little bit more yellow? Maybe like this. Okay, there we go. Good. So again, you can make a snapshot. And this can save you a lot of time, because now I can go back to the old version. I can look at the new version, and you can save that. You can come back the next day with fresh eyes, look at these different versions. So that is a lot easier. Make it a gradient. You need to tell me which kind of thing you're talking about. The black and white one or the sunset one? I don't know. Should we make a gradient in the black and white version, really? This one, but this is a lens filter. It's not a, as far as I know, the lens filters only have one color. They don't have a gradient. We can put a gradient on that too, though. And with the sunset thing, this already is a gradient. So, yeah. All right. Oh, we wanted to talk about the dog picture too. Should we do the dog picture too? I think maybe I should save this. This is the one, yeah. Okay. Leave on bench, so I can have saved that. The sunset dual color. Yeah, but it is a gradient. This one. As you've seen, like this is a radial gradient in here. Okay, let's have a look at the dog picture. Where is it? Which one? 1 second. Let's go like this. Let's see what we can do with the dog. By the way, just to show you in Photolab. Wait a second. Yeah, it's actually nice. Okay, it's actually sharp. Look at the nice details here in the hair. Okay, cool. If you go to Photolab and have this kind of adjustment view here on the right, you see all these kind of settings you have. So, I mean, some of them repeat, but there's a lot more stuff in there. And the stuff is more applied to the what you actually want to adjust, you know? Because in Affinity Photo, you have this kind of brightness and contrast and blacks and stuff like that. But here you have like things where you think you actually want to adjust them. So that often, I think, like makes a little bit more sense sometimes. Especially these kind of smarter filters like this exposure compensation. Sorry, the smart light here. That you can apply to make the picture like areas darker or brighter in a smart way. And it also does it, you can, for example, go spot weighted. It doesn't recognize the dog face, but you can say, okay, this is the dog face here. And then base the adjustments on the dog face, for example. And the other one, this one is more uniform. So stuff like that. And you have this kind of selective tone where you can adjust just the highlights and just the midtones. So it has some nice features in there. We can play a little bit around with that. This clear view is one of my most favorite things, but as you can see, it doesn't work too great with bokeh. It's more for, I don't know, normal shots, let's say. Let's call it like that. Micro contrast is very useful, but again, maybe, we can do it like that a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, let's turn this off. Can put a little bit of vibrance in here. Like so. Chromatic, frequency. So this is for the noise. Although I don't think there is too much noise going on. Let's look over here. Looks actually very smooth, so that's pretty nice. Down here also, so that should be okay. Horizon tool, that's very nice. So let's turn this on, let's see. And actually, I think it has done a good job on its own, but you can still use this tool. And then, for example, say, okay, these the dock has to be the horizon or like a horizontal line, so this should work out. And then it's just adjusting it to that. There's a little bit of repetition for the same stuff. There we have a tonal curve. All right. We can make a vignette if we want to. Ah, no, this is removing the vignette. It's not creating one, it's removing it based on the lens that is used. Color rendering we don't need. There's some interesting features in here. I think this is for the, like, it's called the elite version, like the more advanced version. I have pro version, I would call it, but they call it elite version. And there, for example, you can simulate different camera bodies, which is nice. You see here a lot of different, like Canon and Nikon and Leica and stuff like that. So for example, I could say I want to have it look like it's from a Nikon D5. And then it tries to simulate. This only works with the RAW file though. Okay. Let's undo that. Okay. I don't know, should we, and you also have this kind of before after view, which is also nice. So you see, you can compare it before and after. So that's very useful. Should we edit this in Affinity Photo too, or with Nik Collection? Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video. Is my backup has turned on maybe? Let's see. No. Should work. I hope you can still see me. I'm not sure about that. And we are over 2 hours already. Let's, 1 second. You know what? I will export this as a JPEG, and then instead of as a RAW, I added it in Affinity Photo as a JPEG. Let's go here, open, download, because then we already have the process in there. Where did it go? Oh, it's still exporting. Okay, sorry for that. Let's do this again. Open up, downloads. There we go. This is the dock picture. Again, let's crop this real quick. Let's go like this. Actually not that great. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay. And then, oh, by the way, we can play around with some of my LUTs while we are here. Where did I put them? So here, and then digital products and LUT pack 2. And then we can look in here. No, that's not that. Pro. And then some of them don't work well with bokeh. So we have to look out for that. maybe. Oh, okay, dark. Very cinematic. Oh, okay. No. Oh, okay. It's also darker. This is kind of nice. No. I mean, these faded ones are interesting. Let's see if the other ones. We have portrait ones, tasty colors. Let's look in here. Call Cinema, Matte Match. Okay, you can see this one, for example, doesn't work with bokeh colors. Morning Mood. It's a little bit too cold. This also doesn't work with bokeh. Let's reduce this a little bit, maybe to like 75%. It's kind of nice. Okay, let's keep this one and then make some more adjustments here. Let's bring out the curve again. Pull this down a little bit. Push this up a little bit over here. And then let's also again do some clarity. By the way, 1 second, I'm not seeing the chat right now. Restore chat. There we go. How much is a lab 4 to affinity? I don't understand how to switch from lab 4 to affinity. I don't understand that question. Ooh. You know what? Let's pull this up like so. And then again, invert the layer and then paint this in here. Just on the dog face. A little bit. And down here. So we have a little bit more detail in the fur down here. Also on his clothing. I don't know how to call that. All right. Again, I'm a vignette fan, as you know, so let's put some vignette here. Although, not sure if this is gonna work this time, but let's see. Let's give it a try. Make it black. Blur it. Let's go with 300 here. That's not enough. 800. Okay. We might actually change the color here. Let's have a look at that. Saturation, lightness. Yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. Okay, let's just keep it black. And we have a very light vignette here. Let's have a look at this real quick. Okay. 1 second. I will just have a look when I put a curve here and I pull this down. No. Because I was thinking this could use some more color. Let's have a look at saturation real quick here. Vibrance and saturation. Okay. Invert that again. And then just paint it on the background a little bit. So we just have a bit more here in that area. Oh, I'm not doing anything. Okay. Does this work now or not? Yeah, it does. Okay, good. Can also put some more here. All right, very nice. And I kind of feel like this could be a bit more blurry. So let's go here and go with a, where's the depth of field? There we go. And we want to make this tilt shift and then pull it like so. So the dog stays sharp in the middle. And we are not on the picture. There we go. Preserve alpha. It doesn't do too much, right? Makes it a little bit softer. I feel like that's better, right? It could be a bit. Let's keep it like that. All right. Let me duplicate this so we have a before and after. Or actually, well, yeah, that's an easy way to do that. Okay, so here we have the before, and this is the after. Good. What do you think? That should be okay. Hope the chat is working. Hi, Andros on Facebook. Hi, thanks for watching. Okay. Court says, during this stream, I put up a post on Facebook and managed to get a model for a new shoot this week. Oh, nice. Okay, pretty cool. More about model shoot soon. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I should do the next live stream about it, because tomorrow I have a shooting if everything works out, and then I can talk about it and also about the editing process, and probably also edit it in live stream, depending on how well the pictures turned out, because I want to do more projects I can show you, maybe also film there and stuff like that. So I hope that's interesting. All right. I hope my stream is still working. Okay, that's basically it for today. We have 2 hours, 13 minutes. I hope you liked the stream. Whoa, I'm yawning, sorry. So I hope you liked the stream today. It was a lot of fun. I was very nervous because I didn't like the pictures, but some turned out well. I like this picture, for example, with the dog, so that's kind of fun. And I will do some more of those and then do actual shootings with actual models and stuff like that. And yeah, looking forward. And also the new creative pack is coming soon. I pushed it to next Saturday instead of next Tuesday. So yeah, this is also going to be a lot of fun again. So thank you very much for watching, and see you around, well, 1 second. See you around soon. Bye.